Hey everyone, today I'm going to show you the first part of escaping belay. What we're going to do is learn how to go hands-free and tie off our belay device. So this is a pretty useful skill if you're learning to climb outdoors, because outdoors it's not a controlled environment, so if your climber has an accident and becomes incapacitated in some form, you then need to go hands-free so you can walk around, grab your phone, or assist the climber in any way possible. So as you can see, I've got just a standard ATC here, and the rope is weighted. So the first thing I do is I never take my climber off belay, so I am trying to keep one hand on the break end of the rope. So the first thing I do is pass a bight of rope through the locking carabiner, and I'm being extremely careful here to make sure that there is friction and the rope doesn't slip through the ATC. So I'm just gradually making sure the rope gets pinched. Fantastic. Okay, so now with this bight of rope, I just extend it out slightly, and I then want to pass it in front of the weighted side of the rope, and notice how I deliberately twisted it, so I've got this kind of loop here in this hand. Just extend it out a little bit more. That's great. Okay, so now with this remaining tail of rope, I come around and I pass it through the loop, like so. And what we've got here is a slip knot. Some people call it a mule knot. The important thing is it's fairly tight and it's cinched down right on the ATC. Okay, fantastic. I'm just going to pull a little bit more rope through here because it is a slip knot. That's perfectly doable. Tighten that up again. Great. Okay, so we're kind of hands-free here, but this isn't really secure enough. So I'm going to finish this off with an overhand knot. Pull a bit more rope through, tighten, and I'm just going to come around and underneath. Just with a simple overhand knot. And again, I want this to be fairly neat and tight and kind of cinched down onto the mule knot if possible. Doesn't have to be, but that would be preferable. And there you can see the overhand knot. And I'm really just making sure that it's well dressed and pulled tight here. And that looks nice and neat. So now this is our mule overhand knot system. And now I can go hands-free. There is virtually no chance that this can undo itself and the ATC can then start feeding slack through. So the climber is now on belay, but you're hands-free. And then you can go and get help. So this is probably the easiest, most convenient way of going hands-free. You could tie this type of system actually onto the locking carabiner, or you could sort of work below the ATC and do a figure eight on a bight and then put a locking carabiner in there so it physically jams in the device. But you know, that requires extra equipment, and in that situation you have to work below the ATC and keep the tension on the rope. Whereas with this method, once you pull it through the locking carabiner, the rope is pinched and then you can very easily work tying these knots. So, you know, this is my method of choice for going hands-free. Hope you found this video helpful, and check out some of our other videos.